Hey, what's up, everybody? We're back with the Middle School Football Academy. This is our noon session. I gotta tell you, I'm excited about this one. We got Coach Jones coming, and I'm gonna key it up to him. Thank you, Coach Jones. Thank you so much for being with us this afternoon.
Thank you, Coach Young. I appreciate that. One thing that I look forward to is always learning from other coaches, and I've been an observer, and hopefully that somebody can learn a little something from me, and then I'm going to continue to watch all day. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Yes, sir. So I tell you what, I'm gonna slide on out the way, my boy, and you can have the whole show.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. All right, so my name is Coach Jones. I am head football coach at Lewis Frazier Middle School in a small town right outside of Fort Stewart, Georgia. For anyone that's in the military, they might have may have stopped it too at Fort Stewart. Um, and today we're going to talk about combining your best RPOs in the D gap read. So pretty excited about that. So introduction, as far as to my coaching background, this is my third year. Well, I'm heading into my third year as the head football coach and the offensive coordinator at Lewis Frazier. I also am the offensive analyst for the high school on game day. So any of the plays that are working really well, and also for those plays that aren't working, I'm letting the head football coach and also the offensive coordinator know, hey, I think we should run this again, and hey, we might want to back off of this. This hasn't worked the three times that we use it. So I feel like that is helping me to become not only a manager of the game, but also help play calling as well. So I enjoy that role with the high school. Our Patriot 30 squad has a combination of sixth, seventh, and eighth graders. And I'll be honest, it's mostly an eighth grade led team. With out of 30 to 35 athletes, we typically have about 22 to 25 eighth graders. And then we kind of fill a team from there. There's always a great conversation to have with parents when I'm telling them, hey, little Johnny can't play. Little Johnny's 10 years old. He has a 10-year-old body versus his 14-year-old body that's just completely different. So we typically have those conversations in that sixth grade year, and then by the time they come back out for seventh grade and eighth grade, they're typically up to where we need them to be. But those few that do make it during sixth grade, those are some pretty good studs. We are entering an eight-team league this fall. Pretty stiff competition. We're already pretty close to Florida, but if anyone that knows Florida football, the closer you get to Florida, or you being in Florida, is pretty tough. So we'll be looking for some stiff competition as it relates to that. So pretty excited there. All right, so I just want to talk a little bit about our offense. It's an up tempo spread RPO system, which again just means run pass option. I'm sure everyone knows that. It's about 70% run and then 30% run our pass ratio. About 70% of our offense actually comes from the high school. So we use the same formations, similar play calling, route combinations, kind of our scheme in general actually comes from the high school. I know oftentimes when I see in some groups, coaches are always asking, what should I run at the middle school or what should I run for my 12U team? And I know it's easy to say, hey, you should just run with the high school running. But my advice in time that I can kind of chime in is saying, hey, if it fits what you want to do. I know there's, like the high school could be running something that you may not, understand or may not be comfortable with running or may not have the personnel for. So having that conversation, I always tell coaches to make sure that they do that. But in this case here, their system fits pretty well, and it's been a great partnership over the last 4 years as things kind of morph themselves into what it is now. It's actually been pretty cool. So about 30% of our offense is actually a combination of what has worked, so things that we have seen in the past, and player specific plays. We always want to get our best athletes the ball, which is the goal of our offense. So anytime we have somebody that's coming in that might be an every down back or a really stud wide receiver, or this year we're having a quarterback that can take the load. We're always trying to kind of pick and choose some things that we can enhance in our offense in order to get that person the ball as much as we can. The way that we call our offense is everything at the line of scrimmage. We do hand signals that gives the quarterback, the running back, the wide receiver, and the offensive line their responsibilities. And I'll talk a little bit more about how that process works. And then again, it's a combination of run pass option based on the conflict defender. Okay, conflict defender. So combining our best is, and again, this is what this conversation, I really want this conversation to be about. After the first year of us running the system, very similar to the high school, I sat down, talked to my coaching staff, and I said, "Hey, I think we can revamp how our RPO system, our offense is running by taking our three top run plays, which in this case here is going to be our inside zone run, our power run, and then our sweep, our outside zone play." And combining those with our top three passes. And this isn't a new concept, but I really just wanted to make sure we locked in those three run plays and the three pass plays, because we had a lot more. We probably had about 6 or 7 run plays and 5 or 6 passing plays. And I just want to say, hey, what is working for us? What can we do in order to simplify it for our players, but also more importantly, the coaching staff, to combine those things and not have to have different rules and different things for different plays and everything like that. So I just wanted to really simplify what's going on. So I looked at our top 3 runs, which again, inside zone, power, and sweep. And I looked at 3 top passing plays, which is our bubble slant combination, our quick screen, and also our hitches. So I looked at those 2 things and said, you know what can I do in order to combine those things and those concepts into making them simpler for our offense. So our passing concept is based on our running concept and vice versa. So similarly to what most teams do in this RPO system, we're reading the D gap defender pre-snap. So we call them the D gap defender, the conflict defender, apex defender. I was watching a YouTube video and they called them the overhang player. We're really just trying to identify this defender, and we're picking that run pass option. Our quarterback is picking that run pass option pre-snap. So I don't want to get that confused with some air raid systems or some other systems in which they're calling the play at the line of scrimmage based on the defense. We've already called the play on the sideline. It's just that it's actually attached. This run play is actually attached to this pass play, which gives the quarterback those options pre-snap based on what the defense is giving them. And again, I'm not asking them to read the entire defense, just identify that D gap defender pre-snap, and then from there, that gives us our options. All right. So if it's a run option, so again, for any reason that D gap defender is actually lining up in our passing lane, then all of a sudden the option becomes good old fashioned option football, which is to read the C gap defender or in minimum line of scrimmage post snap for the give or the read. So we're actually asking our quarterback to identify the D gap defender pre snap and then the C gap defender post snap. And this is something that we work on right at the beginning of spring. We pick it up through the summer and really try to give different looks. We go into fall camp about it, and then obviously throughout the season as well. So this is a concept that we're constantly working on with our quarterback, along with all the other tools that we need them to do. All right. And again, one of my proudest coaching moments is that I gave this concept to the high school and they absolutely loved it. Again, trying to run their system. And I just sat down and said, hey, coach, this is what we're doing. We're simplifying it. These 3 run plays are going to be attached to these 3 passing plays. And this is what we're going to do. And they said, cool, we're going to do the same thing. And I said, what? So that was actually a pretty cool coaching moment that I was, pretty proud of. By actually contributing that up to the high school. So they kind of do the same thing. And actually our film that we're going to show today is actually going to be from the high school running this system that we introduced about 2 years ago. All right. So in this case here, we have our zone concept mixed with our bubble slant concept. And again, I want to emphasize that our zone is always being ran with the bubble slant backside. And this is actually a pretty common concept. In this case here, the defender or the D gap defender is going to be splitting the difference. I know that we see a lot of time at the middle school level, a 4-4 or a 4-2-5 or a 3-5, where they're really trying not to get beat outside. So they actually decrease the box in order not to get beat outside, which is a huge mistake for me because I actually love running in the A and B gap. I actually tell my players, I say, hey, listen, if we can run inside zone all day, we're going to do that. I do not mind that at all. So let's put that defender in conflict. All right. So the way that we typically signal this in is that, let's say this is our sideline over here. I'll actually give the hand signal for our formation, the play in the direction to the quarterback. And let's say I'm over here on this side here. This Z receiver, this Y receiver, our running back and our quarterback will all be looking at me. And this is just simplifying everything, and they'll actually get the play call, and they know their responsibility in this case here. Same thing if I was on the other side, these four would be looking at me. Okay. The center and then the backside receivers are all looking at the quarterback to get that call. And that's just something that we noticed that is pretty hard, especially since some athletes aren't looking, or the flow of the game is going, and they may not look at the call. But it's pretty hard to see things, especially if we spread them out the way you want to. Way over here on this sideline, so we actually have the center and the backside receivers look at the quarterback, and he'll actually mirror the call. Okay. So in this case here, we'll be calling our zone west call, and it's automatically tagged with the bubble slant. So there's no other hand signal that needs to be given for the bubble slant. They automatically know if you are front side, you're blocking. If you're a receiver, if you're backside, you're running our bubble slant combination. So in this case here, let's just start off with play side first. So we know our X receiver is going to be man on the inside. So I know sometimes we don't some offenses don't block this cornerback. We do, just simplicity purposes. Like if we start to bow inside, this corner just going to follow anyway. So why even muck up the system? So we man on block here. We either say man on the inside. So this H receiver would block this strong safety in this case here. All of our linemen are taking their zone steps. They're kicking out the end. If they flow past, then I guess this guard will pick up. But most of the time, they're outside contained. In this case here at our level, they'll double up to backer. They'll double up to this backer that's flowing over here. And we're always reading the end man on the line of scrimmage. In that case there, most of the time they'll run up field anyway. So we don't even have to worry about, trying to do anything. But we'll actually talk about this later, is that sometimes if this guy is a stud, then we'll just lock this with our backside tackle, and we'll just go ahead and stop reading. But in this case here, we're just flowing. So the quarterback knows that it's zone west here, and they know that his eyes are to look at the D gap defender. And the way that we identify the D gap defender is that oftentimes we're talking about it. Everything that we're talking about in our offense is based on our gaps. So even though we're running outside zone, inside zone, we do have a power concept, and this year we're going to introduce a counter concept. Most of it is based on like a zone scheme. We're still talking about in terms of gaps for us. So in this case here, this is our A gap, our front side A gap. We tell the back, hey, you hit that front side A gap no matter what. Okay, you hit that front side A gap no matter what's going on. Okay, it doesn't matter if you get the ball, you hit it as hard as you can. We want to make sure we draw these guys up. We want to make sure we give that look every single time. Our quarterbacks takes their 45-degree step, or really their step back, and they're keying in on this guy post snap. Pre-snap though, okay, he's looking at this D gap defender here. So we'll say this is A gap here, B gap, C gap, and we like to say C gap is outside the tackle shoulder, and then probably about a yard, and then our D gap defender here. We spend, like I said, a lot of time during the summer, spring, preseason, just identifying that guy. Okay, hey, point to that guy. Tell me who that is. And sometimes we'll start off with, depending on the experience of our quarterback, we'll start them off with just one guy. and then we'll progress to 2, and then we'll kind of start to put 3 or 4 defenders backside, and then have them identify that. Also, too, I understand this is the middle school level. This isn't college. This isn't high school. This surely is not the pros. I'll actually scream out who this D gap defender is. I say 45, the D gap defender. 55, the D gap defender. 47 is the D gap defender. So then that way our quarterback knows exactly who they're identifying in that case here, and we can do that both sides. We'll let the line call out the mic or whoever they're calling on their end, and we'll call out. Me and the quarterback will call out who is the D gap defender. So based on that, so based on that option, okay, based on that D gap defender, is going to give us our 3 options. Our 3 options, and our 3 options are to run the zone. So just simply run the zone west. Okay, quarterback or running back run here. Okay, is also quarterback keep. Okay, and having that flow, and then them kind of peeling out the backside. Again, reading this aiming line of scrimmage, they crash down, they pull, they run, so on and so forth. And then, or to throw the bubble. Okay, or to throw the bubble. And then you could also say the slant, but that's not really an option here because this overhang defender could drop back. We just don't know what they're going to do. Okay, so we actually give them really 4 options that mitigates itself to 3. And then by the time the ball is snapped, there's really only 2 options based on what this D gap defender is doing. So in this case here, the D gap defender is splitting the difference. We'll see this a lot, especially in like a 4-3 or maybe even like a 4-2. Oh, I'm sorry, like a 4-4, where this D gap defender is really just literally an overhang defender that could drop back or squeeze down or to fall off this end here. So in this case here, we tell the quarterback, hey, if this D gap defender cannot make a play or not lined up on 2, okay, it gives you your options. Okay, one option that he does not have, okay, is to run straight into that D gap defender. Okay, so that automatically exits out the quarterback run. Okay, that automatically exits the quarterback run. With this overhang defender being so close to the box, in this case here, this D gap defender being so close, we say, hey, go ahead and flip it out to the bubble. Okay, we want to get Y the ball. Y is one of our better athletes. Matter of fact, all of our receivers are some of our better athletes. Our running back is like the 4th or 5th athlete that we have. They're a running back in this case here. Okay, like I don't mind giving them the ball, but let's flip it out. We're 4 wide. Let's go ahead and put these guys in space and then let them, work. So hey, throw the bubble. Like you can never go wrong if this overhang defender's hanging out here. Is like throwing the bubble. Okay, throwing the bubble, and also that actually get these guys involved in that they know that they can actually be in the play call. So in this case here, again, the option become, because of this overhang defender or this D gap defender, it becomes a running back run, or throwing the bubble, And again, that's for the option for our quarterback. So I'll often ask, okay, based on this defense here, based on this D gap defender, what are your options? They can say run the ball or throw the ball or throw the bubble. Okay. And I say, okay, why is that the case? Well, this D gap defender is here. Okay. Well, why can't you throw the slant? Well, we don't know if he's going to drop back, coach. Good answer. Hey, why can't you run the ball? Well, coach, I don't want to get hit right in the mouth because this guy is going to be right in the gap that I'm running towards. Okay. Because I don't really want him to run C gap. Okay. Because this guy is running upfield oftentimes. So, hey, listen, crash down. This guy pulls. I want you to run outside. This is where your help is going to be at. So we actually kind of aim towards that D gap. That's why you see the arrow there, not necessarily right off of the tackle, because I don't want these guys to even start getting spicy, because our quarterback is pretty important to this system. So I say, hey, run towards that receiver whenever you're running the ball, and then they'll block man on if that's the case. So again, if this quarterback is splitting the difference, then we know that we're going to. I'm sorry, if this D gap defender is splitting the difference, we know we're going to throw the bubble or run the ball. Okay, we know we're going to do one of those 2 things. All right, next we have a quarterback. Next we're going to have our zone west again. We're going to have our zone west again, and again we have combined it with our bubble slant. So it does not matter what direction we're going in. We know that if we're running zone in one direction, we know we're running our bubble slant in the other direction. We don't need to tag it. We don't need to say anything else. They automatically know. Okay, we quiz them on them. Literally, we give them a quiz uh, sometime before our first game just to make sure that they know, hey, these are your responsibilities. And that's the educator in me as well. So again, we're running our zone west here. Our receivers are blocking man on the inside. Our line are all blocking down this way. Our running back is having that A gap, that front side A gap pathway, and of course they can always cut back to backside A gap. Okay, in this case here, our D gap defender is head up on two, head up on two. And we say if they're head up on two, that is automatically X for that bubble. That bubble is contraindicated. Takes me back to medicine. That bubble is not going to happen. Okay, this wide receiver, you run the hardest that you can to get this guy out of the way. They are man on you. This is exactly what we want. Okay, they are a man on you. Like they have gotten beat by that bubble 2 or 3 times. They're locked up on two. Cool. You go ahead and you in two, you hang out. Okay. In this case here, the quarterback knows, all right, what are my 3 options now? My 3 options could be to hand the ball to my running back. Okay. That's always an indication there. All right. I could also run the ball because this lane is wide open. This guy man's on. This guy man's on. If that's the case, that's fine. Or I could also throw that slant. Okay. Theoretically, could this guy drop the hook, the curl way out here? Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's fine. That's that's possible. But they know that hey, this could be the case. All right. If these linebackers start to creep up, right, into these gaps, well, I don't really want to run because the whole point of these linemen is to get a double. These linebackers start creeping up. Well, we know that this right here is fire. If this quarterback throws this slant or run the ball or give it to our running back, that those 3 options are fine. Those 3 options are fine. We want to run to the one technique for our zone. We want to throw it to this empty space here. We want you to run the ball in this direction, okay? Without anyone being in this gap, okay? You just got to read this D gap defender and then obviously post snap reading this C gap defender. The C gap defender crashes down, you pull the ball, you go ahead and run that lane. If this C gap defender stays outside, you hand the ball off. We have no questions asked. If this cornerback is sitting at 15 yards, where it looks like here, you go ahead and you pop that slant. That's perfectly fine. Okay, that's perfectly fine. And oftentimes, I'll even start to tell them as they start to creep up, as this D gap defender start, hey, that slant's open. That slant's open. That becomes our third option pre-snap. Okay, that becomes our third option pre-snap. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to our power. Okay, so our power in this case here is going to be combined with our quick screen. So we would give the call power east or power west, and then we automatically know backside we have our quick screen. Okay, and we've done the quick screen different ways. It sometimes is literally been literally like pop, like a now screen. Sometimes it's been like a step out. It's been like a step out and then come back and kind of retrace those steps. This year, we're going to have them basically replace 2 and 2 replace 1 because we have some pretty quick guys that I feel like if they get the ball in enough space, they're going to be able to cut back. So we got some basketball players out there that are pretty agile. So, like they're used to cutting and doing all kinds of shifty things. So I say, hey, listen, let me use that to our advantage. Okay, so let's get them further away from that cornerback who might start to crash down. Let's get them away from that guy and actually have them start running towards the ball, get it, and then bow back outside. So again, we're using that skill set, are using our concepts to match our personnel, and it's been pretty exciting to see that this summer. All right, in this case here, we're running our power east scheme, and we run power slightly different than some. I know some people will read this front side in for continuity for our line, so they don't have to worry about am I reading this guy, we're touching this guy, we're locking this guy, we're doing this. We're still reading the backside in. We're still reading the backside in, and this case here, now we're just pulling that guard around to get that front side backer. Okay, so in this case here, we're running power east. Okay, from a blocking standpoint, our receivers know that they have the first thing inside, head up to inside. They automatically know that. So our Z receiver and our Y receiver are head up to inside. Our tackle knows I always have the end man on line of scrimmage to my side, our play side. So kick out that guy. Most of the time they're going to run up field. So just let that guy fan him out, kick him out, drive him out, whatever the terminology that we use. In this case here, he knows that he doesn't have any help because this guy's kicking out. So we're going to either base block or try to cut this guy off because our wrapper is going to come around and try to get that guy. So this guy stabs in, he'll just wrap around, so on and so forth. Okay. Our this is about the only thing that actually makes it power. We actually block back with our center. The center knows to block back, and they'll actually call a double call, or he's blocking back with this guy. Typically, he'll take a hinge step in, make sure that there's nothing crazy going on, and then he'll just double with this guy right there. And the linemen have come up with some pretty cool things to know what the actual kind of blocking scheme is. Have a great offensive line coach that kind of helps them come up with those kind of things year after year. All right, in this case here, our running back is being told to run the B gap, but to also follow their blocker. So really, you could say that, hey, he should be hitting A gap, but I say, hey, go ahead and push towards B, because ideally we'll come around and go B gap. This is just kind of giving him a different look. But follow your blocker. If your blocker goes A gap, you go A. If the backer decides to go hang out with their mom over here on the backside or on the sideline, you go ahead and go follow them as well. So we always say, hey, follow your puller in this case here, but the aiming point, at least for the running back, because sometimes it actually works out this way where he'll kick and then pull around this way. He's aiming point, he can still hit it right there because we block those guys up pretty well. We just want to give those guys a different look as it relates to the path of the running back. Okay. We're reading our aim in on the line of scrimmage, and then we have identified our D gap defender here. Okay, we have identified a D gap defender here. So we in this 4-3, it's like, okay, well, how do we know that? Well, we tell the quarterback, hey, listen, okay, if there's nobody right here, just look to the first man inside. That's okay, and we actually have some film on that. Look to the first man inside, and you'll be able to see this is going to be your D gap defender. Okay, this is going to be your D gap defender. All right. In this case here, they're giving us a two safety look, and we're actually going to kind of again show that. I do like this D gap defender here, because they are so tied to the box. Then it's like, do I really want to give this guy, because we're not blocking this guy. This guy could technically fit into the run fit. So I told our quarterback, okay, what are your options here? You see green grass right here, and you see one defender over two. Yeah, go ahead and toss it to that guy. Okay, go ahead and toss it to that guy. All right. We want to give our athletes, our best athletes, the ability to get the ball. So he'll know, okay, based on this D gap defender, this guy can fit into the run fit. Let me go ahead and throw this hitch out here and start pulling this guy out. Let me make this safety here start to come down and actually block too. They start doing that. We're just going to start airing this thing out, and we'll make it a free fall. Okay. So again, I really like this look to run it as well, because we are blocking up, but we tell our quarterback, hey, listen, based on your rules, what is this guy doing? Is this guy in the box? Yep. Throw it out, or you pull it and you run it right there, based on what this in middle line of scrimmage is doing. So we actually do like running this quick screen to a too high safety look. Next, we have the option of, again, power. In this case here, we're running our power west. We combined it with our quick screen. All right. Everybody man blocking here with the receivers. Kick out, base, block back. We're reading this guy here. And we know that all of a sudden, based on this defense or this 4-4 defense, we know that our D gap defender is now outside the box. I would really love to run this. Like this is a run all the way. Okay. Especially if this D gap is moving to 2. Sometimes the defensive coordinators, and I love defense. I played defense growing up in high school and everything like that. These overhang or D gap defenders will start right here and then start to slowly creep themselves, especially if they know we're reading them. They slowly start to creep themselves over here, right? And then all of a sudden become a 2-by-2 situation. If I tell a quarterback, if you see this guy walking down, you go ahead and hand that ball off. You have no idea what this guy is about to do. You have I don't want you to guess. I don't want you to assume. I don't want you to think. I want you to simply run the ball with the running back, especially if they're doing that, especially the defense looks like that. This thing is so indicated to run the ball. B gap, we are ready to go. Okay, so go ahead and hand it off. So I tell a quarterback, if you don't know, if you do not know, you just give the ball to the running back. We know that we're blocking up our zone. I'm sorry, our power. We know that they're running it regardless if we're throwing our quick screen or if we're giving it. So you want to again emphasize, hey, listen, if you don't know what this D gap defender is doing, then go ahead and just run the ball. Or go ahead and just give it to the running back. Okay. And then we also have our sweep series, our outside zone series. And I really want to get to some film, so I'll just kind of talk through this quickly. All right, so in this case here, we're running our sweep and hitch series, our combination. Okay, so again, we'll call our sweep right, our sweep east. These guys know that they have outside zone blocking. They'll take their 2 flat steps and bury and kind of carry those guys. Our running back is aiming point is going to be to the C gap in this case here, but we all know how outside zone work. Most time you're hitting this thing B gap or A gap. You can tell them, hey, listen, you can aim for C gap or that ghost tight end, but most time we say, hey, listen, if you see green grass, you hit it. You see green grass, you go ahead and go. You take your flat step, boom. I don't care if it's green grass right here. You just go ahead and go and you get your 4 or 5 yards. If it can hit C gap, cool, great, awesome. But in this case here, we don't know. So our quarterback again is being told to look at this D gap defender. Did D gap defender's head up, or they look like they're about to blitz? Okay, another rule that we have is that if this D gap defender is going to blitz, hand the ball off. Okay, if this D gap defender can chase our running back from way over here in our spread system to go make a tackle in essentially A gap, or really it should be B gap or C gap, that is a stud. Okay, I'm gonna stop reading that guy and start locking him up. Okay, I'm gonna start chasing, making them just run off. Okay, cool. We're no longer in the D gap defender. We're locked. Okay, and that's actually what we do. Like if we don't want to, like if we're not, like we're having a hard time reading or we're having trouble identifying, I'll just yell lock, and these guys, this DN automatically gets locked, and we're locking that D gap defender. Okay, we're locking that D gap defender. Hey, listen, we're not like if we can't read or like can't block that guy, we're just gonna start reading. Okay, we're just gonna start reading them, leaving them unblocked. And I know that's kind of like counterintuitive. I know some coaches say, well, like if you can't block them, read them. I say, look, if we can't read them, block them. Okay, at least like at least get in their way, something. Okay, all right, so. This guy here, the base. If this guy shoots in, yes, theoretically they can make a tackle, but that's okay because again, we're aiming towards that, and we're ideally we're hitting that B gap, A gap, B gap in that case. All right. So again, running back run when it's a D gap blitz. In this case here, I actually love whenever they come out too high safety. I'll throw a hitch all day long, especially this guy right here not splitting the difference. Again, we're running our sweep, man on, man on. They're doing the outside zone blocking. We're keying this guy here for the quarterback run just in case. And we know that if it's a too high safety look, there's nobody in this lane. Okay, you take your step, you take your flat step, and you throw it, and you throw that hitch to that open space. There's nobody on this guy right now. Now, theoretically, is this guy probably looking at 2? Yeah, sure, okay. But that's enough. I think our athletes are good enough to go out there and get that hitch. Real quick for our hitches, we had 2 5-yard hitches, and they don't necessarily get in each other's way because once they hit that hitch, they're kind of told to like run like a little bit of a mini comeback, and it looks beautiful whenever they actually do it the right way. If they ever get in each other's way, this guy's getting the ball. I always tell them, hey, listen, like if you don't run this route outside receiver the correct way, this guy's getting the ball because he's going to be in your lane. So y'all two make sure you run your lane for whatever reason, and then so that this corner can't play 2 over 1, which should be pretty tough for them to do that anyways at our level. All right. So with that being said, I do want to go ahead and flip to some film to kind of show you all like a little bit of what we've been talking about. Coach, just to make sure, can you all see the film or see the huddle? I just want to make sure. I just want to make sure you all can see it. I can see it on my end. Okay. All right. I'll go ahead and.
Yeah, Coach, you're good. Yeah, we see your huddle.
Okay. Perfect. All right, thank you. So in this case here, this is the high school, and the coach was gracious enough to give me permission to show you all this. So I appreciate that from the high school coach again that we run a similar system. So in this case here, they're coming out and they're ace. Really, it's like a Rio formation with this tight end, like they're hiding this tight end back there, but it's very similar to our ace formation, which is our 2x2 set here. Our trips formation was just again our 3x2 here. I'm sorry, our 3x1. In this case here, they're running zone west, our zone to this side over here. I'm trying to see. I know huddle can sometimes be tricky. They're running zone to this direction there, and we're keying up this D gap defender right here. We're keying up this guy right here. Like they're in like a 4-3. So again, if this guy, like I always tell the quarterback, if there's nobody on the outside, look to the first man inside. That's your key read. Okay, that's your key read. Based on that, theoretically, would I like to run the hitches here? Sure, that's fine. And actually, they game plan to throw like a snag or a hitch route right here based on this D gap defender. This guy right here, just based on the film, was making plays. So they say, hey, listen, we're gonna read this guy based on what they're doing. He's a hot foot. He's ready to go make a play. Cool. Let's go ahead and use that to our advantage. So you can see here, I'll just play it a couple times. Based on that D gap defender, the quarterback says, okay, cool. What are my options? Okay, based on here, do I really want to run the ball to this 6-man box? Yeah, do we have it blocked up? Because again, they're reading this guy as well. Do we run to that 6-man box? Yeah, we have 6 for 6. Can we run it? Yeah. But they're giving us a nice, beautiful lane right here for us to throw that hitch or that snag. So let's just see what this guy does. So the quarterback knows I really don't want to run it. He's not a super great athlete. He's definitely gotten faster. He's like, hey, listen, I'm probably going to throw this here, but I want to give the illusion that we're going to throw that or give it. So he does a great job by putting it into the belly of the running back. And it's something that I didn't talk about. We don't necessarily do like a flash fake. I want this to look the same as if you're throwing the hitch, the slant, the bubble, the quick, like everything. I want it all to look the same. We want it to look the same. So he puts it in the belly. Ideally, this running back would continue to run that gap, but that's okay. He wanted to get away like he trips a little bit. And based on this D gap defender who runs up, we can see, bam, they got overzealous, or guess what? They're just waiting there. Great. I pull, snap, and now we got 5 yards there, which is great. So again, based on this D gap defender, okay, we can throw. Really, we could actually even still throw a bubble if we wanted to this guy right here. Which again, we want to give these receivers that option to go ahead and have that space. All right, moving on. So in this case here, I think this is actually the next play. Yeah, this is 23. This is the next play. So we come back out and we say, okay, great. Now all of a sudden we're going to line up in a trips formation. All right, trips to the field. Solo receiver. Could we do a double move and throw a fade? Sure, that'll be great. That'd be awesome, especially since they spend so much time over here and this guy's in the middle of the field. But we don't have to do that. Let's just run our offense. So in this case here, they're running zone to this direction. All right, to the east. They're running zone east. All right. And the quarterback only job has to be in this case here is to look and see where the D gap defender is at. All right, see where the D gap defender is at. So based on that, our D gap defender is here. All right. So he knows, hey, D gap defenders head up on 2 are doing. I don't know if it's like the 2, like he's a little bit outside the hash, and D gap defenders is looking like they're a little bit on the inside of the hash, but his eyes is directly on 2. So and 2 is a really or the two receiver. I don't know what his number is right now, but he's a really good athlete. So he's like, hey, I'm going to queue up on 2. So the quarterback knows, hey, my options become. Let me try. Try to delete that. Okay. My options become either I'm going to run the or either the quarterback or the running back is going to run the ball, or I'm going to run the ball. Okay. Theoretically, could we throw something backside here? Sure. But we're really just trying to spread them out. In this case here, could we throw the slant? Not really indicated. We don't know what this guy right here is going to do. Okay. So again, the options become run the ball with the quarterback or with the running back. Let's see what he does. So based on that, you can see that he gives the ball off and get a seismic gain. You can look at that D-gap defender. Yeah, he backs up. So yeah, that slant really wouldn't have worked. You can see the bubble slant that's occurring, and actually you can see the third receiver also running a slant. We do the same thing. We try not to switch it up too much as well. So they'll run a slant, bubble slant, and this guy even backs up, but still it doesn't matter because it's contraindicated to give the ball or to throw that bubble. He's queuing up. He's close enough to 2 to see. Okay, cool. And as we can see that good old triple option, right? That good old zone read. We can see based on this guy running upfield. They do at the high school level too, y'all. They're just running upfield. You go ahead and hand this ball off, okay? And then go ahead and get that block. So again, we can see that based on that D-gap defender, what our options are. All right. Next. Sorry. Next, we have we showed the 2 zone options, so zone west, zone east, with our bubble slant combination based on a D-gap defender. Now they come out, the high school comes out and looks like a 2x2 stack formation, 2x2 stack formation, and spreading out to this side. We said going into this game plan, if we get on the short side, we want to be able to get this athlete who just got an offer from Kent State. We want to give him the ball whenever they come out in this look here, the stack formation, and they're running the quick screen here. So they're running a quick screen, but they do what's called a push call, which basically means, hey, listen, we're going to give the action as far as alignment wise, but this tackle who goes out on the quick screen, the running back and this receiver knows that, hey, we're going to be running this, or we're going to be throwing this quick screen based on the look that they gave us, based on this D-gap defender here. Okay, this D-gap defender, is he in the lane? Sure, but we know we'll have 4, really, because I'm including this guy. We know we have 4 for their 3. We have 4 for their 3. So he gets it, he flips it out immediately. Okay, and he go ahead and get a seismic gain there. Seismic gain there. So again, the line is still running their good old-fashioned power. They're still man on blocking. We did a push call to let everyone else know, hey, listen, I'm going to go ahead and give this thing now. At the middle school, we call it just like a key call or, lock call. And we might just, whatever the play is or whatever the second option is, we go ahead and run that. And everyone knows what else to do. So it's actually pretty cool to kind of see how that morphed itself into that based on that. So again, depending on how we want the quick screen, we could either have this receiver retrace steps. I don't know why you would with this guy burning down on you, or you could just stay outside, get the ball, and run forward, which is actually pretty cool. And then lastly, we have here running it against too high safety look. So this is the same game. This time the high school had brought in a tight end to kind of just, again, get some more interior blocking in there. But look how wide this receiver is. That's great. I would love to do the same thing. Can we? Now our receiver probably would be on the hash in this case here at the middle school level, but it's spread enough for us. Okay, it's spread enough for us. Okay. In this case here, they're running that sweep action. They're running the sweep action this way. I'm sorry I didn't point out what direction they were running last time. They're running sweep action this way. This guy know he man on blocking. The entire line is sweep action this way. However, we know that we have our two hitches backside. Okay, we have our two hitches the backside. In this case here, we do not see a D gap defender. Okay, our D gap defender would theoretically be this second safety here. The second safety here. So we have 4 down linemen. Okay. We have an overhang defender over here that's covering up this tight end. And we have 2 interior or B gap defender guys. Okay. So we know there's nobody in this lane. Could in this defense this guy bump off and drop into coverage? Woo! You asking the guy to do that? That is wild. Okay, that would be crazy. But it could happen. It could happen. But it hasn't yet. So again, those guys running in this direction. The quarterback know that my options become either I'm going to hand this ball off. Okay, I could hand it off on this sweep, but look at this overhang defender there. Don't really want to do that. Okay, we know we have green grass here, so he can. So really, the option become either the quarterback's running it or I'm throwing this hitch. Let's see what he does. And you can even start to see the safety creep over. That's not enough for me. Boom. Okay. And we let our best athletes break a tackle and run with the ball. So again, run action that way. Good as option. So again, he flashes. And he flashes a little bit that kind of let the safety jumps on this. I would like for him to stick it in the belly. But he already know he's going to throw this thing. Like he knows. And then, to be honest with you, if he holds it off, our mesh point would put him a little bit that way. But if he doesn't get this ball off now, who knows what's going to happen with that left tackle, given that, kind of giving ground there. So we'll watch it one more time, and I want to talk about what's going on next with our offense. So boom, there, pitch and catch. That's easy. Nice, easy RPO system type stuff there based on that D-gap defender read. And even with the safety creeping over, that's still not enough. The wide receiver, I think he's senior now, definitely going to have definitely going to get a scholarship somewhere. Hard worker. He knows, hey, listen, I don't need to run 7-8 yards. Just give me, hey, I think that was 3 yards, 4 yards maybe. Let me just give my quarterback my numbers, and he was good to go. All right. So now that we're there, what's next? So we always trying to innovate. We're always trying to do this. Always trying to stay a step ahead of what's going on. And this year, I would like to incorporate one-word play calls, combining our best run and pass option. No different than what we've been doing now. Again, right now we're using hand signals. We're not tagging anything else with it. Our zone includes the bubble slant. Our power includes the quick screen. Our sweep includes the hitch. So why not go ahead and combine those into one play call? Okay. So for instance, Indiana would include our inside zone run to the right, and our bubble slant backside. So I will call out Indiana or Indy. Okay, the receivers know, hey, this is what I'm doing front side. This is what I'm doing backside. The quarterback knows who to read backside. The running back knows who to read or to run front side A gap. Everyone knows what they're supposed to be doing. More importantly, the linemen know that they're zone blocking to the right. And everything is just flowing in that direction. So instead of them looking at the sideline for the play call, in order to kind of, again, increase that tempo, we've played around with the idea of including that one-word play call. We tried it a little bit in the spring. I backed off of it a little bit because we kind of shortened the spring a little bit based on the weather. You know how it gets in southeast Georgia. It gets pretty rainy and it's unpredictable. So I kind of backed off it a little bit. But it's something that I really want to go back to looking at. All right. So, with that being said, we're going to continue to challenge our up-tempo offense as it relates to that one-word play call. All right. We're also going to add 2 more runs. So we've been consistent with our zone, our power, and our sweep series. So I'm really looking at, and I love the conversation that was with the coach right on before me that talks about counter. We're definitely going to look at that this year. We have 2 stud guards and tackles on both sides. So why not let them move around a little bit? So got 2 studs there. So going to definitely be pulling those guys in our counter series. So we're going to add 2 runs with that RPO as well. Okay, and hopefully those things work out for our counter. In this case, here will actually be a front side RPO, which would be different for us. Typically, we're doing backside stuff. And ask me next year how that went. We're doing a front side RPO. And then for our pitch, because we have a couple of guys that showing some promise at like that up back, H back, then whenever we have that series or have that formation in, then we're going to combine that pitch with like a little Y pop or H pop or something like that. So pretty excited about that. This year, we also going to incorporate some quarterback design runs. The quarterback I had last year was probably 5'5", a buck 20, soaking wet. This year, we have a kid that's 5'8", 165, 170, that has a rocket arm. So giving this guy the ball, purposeful and meaningful, is definitely something that we want to do. So in this case here, we're just going to we just designed a quarterback power with the jet option, or the quarterback zone with the RB with the running back flare, and I have that here. So just kind of show you all what we're doing to continue to morph this offense and to go with that. We're changing up just a little bit here. It's not necessarily a D gap read. We're really looking at the flow of the defense in this case here, for our quarterback zone, and I completely stole this play from the Buffalo Bills. I seen them run it with Josh Allen, and when the time came, I said, "Hey, if I can get a quarterback that's a stud like that can throw, that can run the inside zone track, that I feel comfortable running literally between the center and the guard, I'm going to do that." And we actually going to call the play, if we do go with the one word play call, Buffalo. So based on the Buffalo Bills. And we have a teacher that's a Buffalo Bills fan, and then I let her know that we're gonna, base it off of that. So in this case here, we have our quarterback zone to the right, with the running back flare RPO. So we'll just send this guy off. If the defense flows, okay. Well, let me take a step back. If it's any of the quarterback stuff, the receivers know we're blocking. Okay, y'all not gonna be necessarily in the run unless it's our jet series, or inside the RPO unless it's a jet. Okay, hey, block. Okay, I want you all to block. Okay, I want to get as many blockers as possible. Okay, in this case here, we run our zone. The linemen run their zone track, and they'll actually do solo blocking in this case here, because again, I want to make sure we get as many guys blocked up. We're gonna send our running back on a pre-snap kind of motion. So we'll actually send them. If the defense yells motion, start to shift over, we know we got him exactly where we want to. He'll just run our quarterback zone there. Okay, he'll take one false step basically, and then just run. Okay, hey, you pretend you're about to throw it, you just open up, and then you just run that zone track. Give these guys time to get the blockers. If they don't move on that motion, we flip it out, and our aiming point for our quarterback is going to be right here. You flip it out, you throw it right in between there with our man on blocking. That thing right there should be pay dirt. Okay, if this linebacker can make a play on our running back, I gotta get a new running back. I'll put one of our receivers back there and then run this thing again. I really feel like it's gonna work itself out. So again, kind of morphing ourselves into based on our personnel. And again, I just want to show that again. All right, so that starts to wrap up. This is my email. If you all do have any questions or want me to send the slide, I see a couple of coaches also put their phone numbers down. That's my phone number. I don't care if you text me or email me. I don't mind sharing information. If you want any of the film from the high school, I can always ask the coach. As long as you all not competing against us, I don't mind sending that. As well, and I just love talking ball, and I just want to thank you, Coach. And again, if anybody have any questions, please feel free to let me know.
Coach, I just want to say thank you very much, and I'm close to you in South Carolina, so I definitely understand what you're talking about with the rain.
Yes.
So every day we wake up and we check that weather report. But hey,
Amen. And,
yes,
yeah, and listen, it's like at 2 o'clock. I'm getting side eyed, being like, "Hey, it's a storm outside. What you gonna do?" So yeah,
right.
it's definitely one of those things. And it's like, okay, we got to make that call. But every region deals with something better than dealing with snow for sure.
Yeah, for real, for real.
Amen. Yes, sir.
Hey, Coach Jones, I want to thank you one more time, and to everyone who's been watching, thank you very much. Make sure to hang out a little bit longer. Next coming up is we got Coach Schuler who's talking about screen game. All right, so thank y'all very much. We'll see y'all soon.
Thank you, Coach.